We're on a mission to deepen human connection, and this is the story of how the brand started.
So the story of How Deep Will You Go actually goes back all the way to 2022.
Troy University.
At the time, with the other brand, Achieve You, we were doing videos where we asked people deep questions on the street. And then we had this idea to gamify the questions.
So we gathered a table, a chair, ourselves, and a Google Doc, and we combined our favorite questions that we asked people into the Google Doc. But to attract these people, we created a sign. And this sign needed to be compelling. It needed somebody to see it that was at a college campus and come up to it. So sitting down and thinking about it, we thought the perfect sign, how deep will you go? And the reason we called it this is because we're on a college campus, we have college kids, and we were trying to do like a wholesome spin on a game.
And ever since then, it just stuck.
Fuck.
We filmed those videos, it was a great time.
I just remember it being like such a nostalgic trip because like we met people, got out of our comfort zone, and people had something to say. They wanted to get something off their chest at the time.
It flipped the script that people like to talk about the darker things, even when they're feeling really vulnerable to do it. If you create a safe space for somebody, they feel good talking about it, and it brings you closer.
So yeah, we started at Troy with How Deep Will You Go, and instantly it was a hit.
The series popped off on TikTok, getting hundreds of thousands of views. And so we went to Florida State.
Went to UWF, Troy, LSU, and we all played it on a Google Doc. We would take trips just to film this.
It was never meant to be a card game. It was never meant to be its own product. It was just simply a video idea. But we kept doing the video idea, and then we kept getting a bunch of DMs.
And I mean a lot of DMs asking,
Can I get these questions? Can I get these questions? And then
How Deep Will You Go allows you to connect on a deeper level with anyone. And that's what it was doing in these videos. Making these videos, people loved them. The people we played it with loved them. The people that watched the videos loved them. Our entire audience loved this process. So much that they wanted the questions for themselves to be able to have the same experience. And eventually, I had a bright idea to turn what we were doing into a game right here. We created the first edition, the OG edition, How Deep Will You Go?
in our meetings, all of us would brainstorm which questions to add to the game.
We came up with a prototype, and we made more videos with the prototype. And then the videos hit new heights. The videos were going absolutely crazy. I think this game probably got over 50 million views before we actually launched.
It's like cooking a dish that's really good for you. It's like high quality ingredients with a simple design. It's simple to do. And then you create this thing.
It was always impressionable. Those instances where we would play the game with people, and it was our first time ever really getting into playing the game with people. It was just very eye-opening.
And I remember the very first time I approached someone that played this game. His name was Noah. And we sat by the trees, and I literally just met him. And we ended up becoming bros like that. Like, there was a card in level 3 that said, when do you feel most like you? And he told me that he feels most like himself with his ex. And he told me a story about how they met up again. And after months, he didn't feel like himself. And then after a week of hanging out with her, she told him, "You're back." And I was like, man, that's a really touching moment right there. And then later I DM'd him and I said, what is your honest experience with the game? And he said, when such deep and thought-provoking questions are framed as a game, it makes it much less intimidating and it actually feels fun to answer. And that was the perfect way to put How Deep Will You Go, which is this game.
I met my girlfriend at one of my favorite colleges, and the first night we hung out, we stayed up all night playing How Deep Will You Go. That's basically how I got my girl, so How Deep Will You Go, shout out to you for being the wingman. We had this one video where Austin sat in between two girls, Emily and Taylor.
And the top comments were mentioning how we literally talked until the sun went down. And so it's one of those games where you just play and you don't realize how much time flies, and you just share really vulnerable, deep stuff, and it's fun.
So I think back in July of 2022, we did pre-orders. And we were really broke at the time. We had not enough money to get product. So what we did was we did the pre-orders, and that gave us just enough money to order 1,000 games. So yeah, we ordered the games, kept making content, kept building hype for it, and then December 2022 comes along. I think we launched on December 11th. I want to say it was December 11th, and we sold out within 5 hours.
And I remember we were sitting there and we dropped live and we watched the map light up where people were buying. And now it's such a memory that's stored in our brains. We did it ourselves. We made that memory of like, we actually earned this first amount of money. Like, this is beautiful.
At this time, we were still living at our parents' house, and so my parents actually let us use the back room as like a fulfillment center.
at first it was all of us collectively packing games, shipping them off. It was fun. It was very fun and connecting at the same time.
And then throughout 2023, we were having issues literally with selling too many games. We would sell a bunch of games, be sold out for months, sell more, be sold out for months. That was all because, we never done this before. Like, we're a group of ambitious friends and we just created a fucking amazing product. and people loved it so much that we had sellout issues. 2023, I think we sold a little over $500,000 worth of How Deep We Goes, which is crazy. We had over 10,000 people buy this game. Shout out to Ladarius, the handsome black guy. That man was a fulfillment manager, and before we had a 3PL where we would get another company to ship the product for us, we were still doing it ourselves.
So yeah, this game now has been sold 50,000 times, and it has probably 1,000 5-star reviews. People literally give us stories. I remember this one time somebody commented about a shirt that we made, which was back in the day, and he basically said that he found the love of his life, and he said, "I love you for the first time because of this game, and he's gonna marry this girl because of this game." He wrote the review about a year ago, and he's a married man now because of the game.
And then in 2024, we were like, we need to release new products. We need to really establish ourselves as a brand. And so we got straight to work working on new products. And that led us to releasing How Deep We Go for lovers.
I think Cody had the idea, and I think he took a trip to Tally. He came up with some beautiful questions. Shout out to Cody. And then we all revitalized them.
All the bros, me and my girlfriend, we spent hours coming up with this game. This game was crafted through hours and days and weeks and months of going back at it, revising it, everything, experiencing it, playing it. And so I know like every question like the back of my hand. I basically came up with half the game. The video does not do it justice, but this game is absolutely beautiful. And I'm really big on that. I'm really big on having colors that are pleasing to the eye. It's like a beautiful pinkish red, almost maroon, and it's just fucking beautiful. And then the cards are like just amazing ingredient, and it looks fucking amazing. Shout out to me and the boys on this.
So the reason we made this is because other brands had a couples game, but sometimes they would ask questions that no one wants to answer. And I'm not talking about the ones that are healthy. I'm talking about, for example, like Cody got this one game, don't ask. And it basically said like, what's the craziest sex you ever had? Who the fuck wants to answer that in front of their boyfriend? So we made this game, which basically deepens a couple's love. A lot of other brands focus just on reflection, and this game focuses on the early days, the good memories, and the things that feel like love.
So fast forward to November 2024, we just released How Deep We Go 2nd edition.
Featuring the similar concept that everyone loved, but a whole new experience because it has all new questions, all new wild cards, and that's where this bad boy comes in.
Absolutely amazing game. We designed this game. It took us quite literally a couple years because when you create a product so good, it's really hard to top that. But this is the sequel that is better than the prerequisite. You guys know the sequel to movies always fucking sucks. 22 Jump Street was way worse than 21 Jump Street. All new questions, all new wild cards, and all new experiences. This is an absolutely amazing game. Not just because I created it, not just because my friends created it, not just because each of us put our time and effort into creating it, but because we spent years having conversations with people, years asking people the right questions to get them to open up, and we're putting that in a game. You will not find a brand that has more experience with the product than we have. I promise you that. Quite literally a bunch of bros that just came together and built a fucking amazing brand.
I'm a huge nerd when it comes to connection skills, so I'm just gonna end this with a few things. If you want to get close to someone, they need to feel safe enough to share vulnerable things with you they don't feel safe sharing with anyone else. When you play this game with someone, it opens up a side of you whenever you pull a question and start answering it, and they can't help but want to know more about you. And that is the key to get close to someone, is to create that kind of anticipation and desire. Anyway, biggest thing that'll happen if you get any of these games is you're going to be told by anyone you play it with that you're different from other people, because no one's done this with them.
We have 3 products now. It took us a while to have 3, but we have 3 now. And we're looking to have even more. Next year, we're going to be launching a guided journal with the questions from these games, because these questions are very good to answer yourself. And so we're creating a guided journal. And we're also creating a blank journal for those of you journalists just like us. We're going to have a dating edition for, dates, and who knows, maybe family edition, anything else. You can literally email us or comment under this video. Let us know what you want.
Start off from a trip to questions to people wanting more of it, so I ended up investing.
And that's the story of How Deep We Go.
99 carefully crafted questions. It was really a beautiful story. It's just 5 guys that worked pretty hard.
And after selling over 50,000 of them, here we are making this video on how we came about and how we're going. And I just want to remind you that we're on a mission to deepen human connection.
And we do that one game at a time.
Hopefully you loved this story and it made you want to buy a bunch.
Yeah. Alright. I love you.
That's it. Thank y'all for listening. Peace.
I love you guys.